Here we go. Right. I've got some fantastic... Oh, actually, sorry, before we start, I've got some fantastic things to show you. Before we start, just want to relax a bit, chill out a bit. All you people over here light a cigarette, have a fag. And if you haven't got a cigarette, I'm sure the person next to you will give you a cigarette. And all you people on this side, have a pint of beer. Pour yourself a glass of beer. That'd be nice for them, come on it.
I'm sorry, Bob, the regulations don't allow the audience
to smoke and drink in the
studio.
What?
I'm afraid not.
They can't have a fag, they've got to sit here for all the time, they can't have a fag or a beer.
I'm sorry.
I think that's draconian. I'm sorry about that, lad. You know, apparently you can't smoke or drink in the television studio. So I'm sure you used to be able to in the old days when I was making programmes. Sorry about that. Anyway, sorry, I have got something that I particularly wanted to show you. You know Gordon Burns on the Krypton Factor? We said, here, let's go Gordon a show where people have to go and run down army assault courses. That'll sort him out. Smug git. Right? So this is a show that Gordon did that I made many, many years ago. A health programme.
We all know that that's easier said than done, so this programme is designed to help you, to help yourselves to give up or cut down on smoking. It's not one of those shock horror programmes, so if you are smokers, please don't run away from it. We're going to show you various ways and means which will help you to cut down or give up.
Right, bear that in mind. It's not a shock horror programme. There's nothing shocking on this programme. Let's have a look, shall we? One of the amazing things about Gordon was this, right? Not very good at learning his lines, right? But he wouldn't have cue cards. Believe it or not, some idiot, no-good presenters actually have cue cards. Can you imagine that? Some poor bastard has to sit there all night just because the drip won't bother to learn his lines. Like, Gordon wouldn't have it. What Gordon used to do was he used to get a little piece of paper with his lines on, and whoever he was talking to, he'd clip the piece of paper onto their tie. So he would read what he was meant to say off the person's tie. Genius.
Once they have stopped, and once they've got over the dependence and addiction, that it will eventually get to the stage where it's quite easy. Now,
So it's a belated New Year's resolution, if you like, that we're going to give up. Having taken that decision...
It's very clever, isn't it, the way he does it? Anyway, let's go on. Remember, there's nothing shocking in this programme at all. These are legitimate ways to stop smoking.
and on the last evening, take out one last cigarette and get rid of all the other cigarettes you have. Make sure there are none in the house, none in your car, none in the office. And sit down and smoke your last cigarette. And as you smoke it, think to yourself, well, this is the last one you're ever going to be smoking. Think that this is a very important decision you're making. And as you reach the end of it, you put it out and you've stopped.
There you go. That's absolute damn sound advice. It's a very good way to go about it. And if he'd have stopped there, he'd have been a very sensible man.
For 2 days before your D-Day, I want you to smoke double your normal amount. And if you smoke under 20 a day, 3 times your normal amount. So that if you're 25 a day smoker, you should smoke 50 a day. If you're 15 a day smoker, 45 a day. So for 2 days before, smoke more cigarettes, and you'll find by D-Day that it's easier to stop. In fact, you'll probably almost welcome it.
In fact, chances are you'll be dead. And what easier way to stop smoking? And trust me, not only that, acupuncture, years and years ahead of his time. Now, you get a pain in the leg, you're off down the acupuncturist. But in my day, many, many years ago, there wasn't so much of it. But this guy was at the very forefront. He knew all about acupuncture, helping you give up smoking. Look.
All you do is, before you light each cigarette, just take out your pin and prick a few holes right through the cork part of the filter and all the way round, and prick them round about the center part of the filter, and start off with about 6 holes.
Now, I think the pins are supposed to go in your body, aren't they? No, if it works, it works. I don't know if it did work.
It's murder.
It's murder. Well, I mean, why is it murder?
It's like drawing on fresh air.
Right, how do you answer that?
How do you answer that? Making people draw fresh air. You evil man. Right, anyway, here he goes. Let's see more of him.
Let's come straight across here to our dependent smokers. If you score between 11 and 20, identify with this group. Can I ask you, before we go any further, those of you that haven't got a cigarette in your hand, could you all light up, please, if you've got a cigarette? If you haven't, I'm sure the person next to you will give you one. And could the people in this side of this of the section also pour themselves a beer?
See? Again? They were the glory days of broadcasting. Everyone we had a snout on or was pissed. It was great. No wonder they thought television was good.
Rapid smoking, as its name suggests, involves smoking a cigarette very rapidly. And before explaining it in more detail, I'll ask you to start smoking a cigarette rapidly. And this means taking a puff every 6 seconds. And so I'll start you off.
I have to take a puff every 6 seconds. Hello.
And if you would just
Please do this at
now.
home. Light up at home.
Light up at home.
Full puff
Smoke.
every 6 seconds.
Smoke.
And I want you to take a good puff each
That's it.
time.
And smoke again. Come
I'll
on.
tell you. Smoke.
Smoke.
I'll tell you the time at first. Smoke. Be sure that you take a... Smoke. Be sure that you take a normal-sized puff and inhale it as usual. Smoke.
Smoke. Come on, don't be wimps. Smoke. What's the matter with you people? And as I keep going, the problem was that, as Gordon said, just before we made the show, all right, but we're going to move on to another group of people. These people, you know, they'll be able to time every 6 seconds. What about the people at home who we've encouraged to take part in the operation? How can they know when it's 6 seconds, time for them to take another drag? And I came up with what I like to think was a groundbreaking bit of television.
Right. Now, while you explain a bit more about that, I should say that if you're trying that at home, keep going, because from now on we're going to put smoke up on the screen, and that's your cue. Keep smoking. Everybody here, you've got watches on. Keep smoking every 6 seconds. Now, presumably you can cheat in this method. You could take a short puff rather than a big one.
And that's to be avoided.
Smoke!
Because it's important to puff normally, because you will then get to the stage where you feel you just cannot go on any longer. And some people feel this after one cigarette. A few tough people or brave people can go on to a third cigarette.
Yes, tough people, brave people, they could smoke 3 cigarettes. The cowards, they all gave up after one. We spat on them. That's fantastic. Flashing smoke up every... We must have killed 5,000 or 6,000 people in the Manchester area.